we'll jump in right to it. I know you've got
Okay.
somewhere to be, but again, can't thank you enough for being here.
I'm psyched.
So for starters, I'm sure you're aware, some Tar Heels are so excited that you're here. Some Tar Heels are not so thrilled.
So there are sad Tar Heels too.
Yes, unfortunately, not that I agree with them, but many have taken to Twitter saying that you're not a journalist and are disappointed in the school. What is your response to this claim regarding your eligibility to speak on journalism, and what kept you wanting to come to UNC today? I know it's kind of a big question, but
No, it's
feel free to
hilarious.
answer that.
I mean, I've done this job for 27 years. I don't know if I'm a journalist or not. I'm not that interested in learning whether I am or not. I have a TV show. I ask simple questions. I try to remain skeptical and honest. And that's kind of the full extent of my job. Is that journalism? I don't know. I'll let the Tar Heels of UNC Journalism School decide. But I came because, honestly, I came because I think Chapel Hill's very cool. I've always liked it here, much better than Duke, which I think is awful.
For sure.
And that's heartfelt, by the way. I would never go to Duke. And also because, to be sincere, I think journalism is a noble, I wouldn't say profession. I don't really think it is a profession, but it's a noble trade. And my father did it, my grandfather did it, I've been around it my whole life, and I think it serves a vital role in American life. And I think that it's always interesting to meet the people who are coming up to do it. If you go to UNC, you've got a lot of options. You can make a lot more money in finance than you're ever going to make in journalism. So who wants to go into journalism? I'm interested to see.
Yeah, well,
and everyone I've met so far has been really impressive, even the people who disagree with me.
Yeah.
And I guess I would, just to sort of put a finer point on your question about people who don't want me to be here or whatever. I don't care, except to the extent I think it's important for not just young people, but all people to be open-minded enough to hear things they disagree with and to assess them, because we're in one of those moments where everything is changing really fast. And you may find that people you never thought you agreed with share important views in common with you. This has happened to me a lot in the last year. It happened to me yesterday, actually, when the story of the moment was the impending war with Syria, and I found myself strongly agreeing with people I've never agreed with before. And there's something really great about listening to people and discovering that really they're not crazy or contemptible. They have something valuable to say. Maybe don't agree with everything they say. I certainly don't agree with everything most people have to say, but you can almost always find something edifying in what people say, so you should listen.
And on that note of agreeing with people you might have thought you would disagree with,
Right.
Facebook last week, as I'm sure you know, released a statement saying it found the content of video bloggers Diamond and Silk to be unsafe to the public and reportedly censored their page. Have you found in your own experience that this message of accepting everyone and loving everyone that seems to be so preached in our society today doesn't include conservatives like yourself?
Well, it's a lie. It's Orwellian. The very people who tell you must accept this or that are the least accepting themselves. Everything is transference. The things I accuse you of are the things I'm guilty of myself. That's always true. But I think more broadly, I'm really concerned about the power of tech companies to control speech. And I think we should all be concerned, regardless of who we voted for in the last election, regardless of our political views. 2 or 3 companies now basically have a stranglehold on all human information in English. And that's too much power in the hands of too few people. And we should all be really worried about that. And most people don't seem to be worried about it, and I'm not sure why. On the right, you have people making the kind of traditional free market case that, oh, it's capitalism, you can't get in the way. And on the left, you have people saying, but the people who run Google and Facebook agree with us. They hate Trump too, so we're on their side. Okay, fine. But the bigger question is a central question. What would happen if Google, for example, the most powerful company in the history of the world, decided to shut down information or hide information? The rest of us would never see it. We'd be bereft. We couldn't have a fully informed conversation. That's terrifying. It's not the government. It's a private company, but it's a greater threat to our speech rights and to our freedom of expression generally than any government has ever been. And we ought to be really worried about that, and we ought to be pushing for legislative reforms that protect the public. And we're not. And journalists should be, by the way.
All right. Well, can't agree with you more. Again, I know she's got a student, so
All right.
I appreciate that so much. Yes,
You got me all fired up, man.
No, I know.
Grumpy.
So,
All right, we're going to switch out real quick.